Hello everyone, how are you today? So today we're talking about some tricks that I'm going to teach you on how to just get rid of those nighttime cravings and get rid of them for good, okay? So I hear this a ton, I hear it so much. And if your craving at night is making you just feel a little crazy or out of control, or maybe after dinner you feel like you just need a little something, or maybe you just feel like like either after dinner or sometimes even later on, we're sitting around and we get a little bored, so then we just kind of start picking or doing that mindless eating. Is that something that happens to you? Are you someone, do you feel that way? Because I hear this a lot. I hear it a ton. So I want you to know that you're not alone, because I have talked to so many people about this, and this is one of their main struggles. So nighttime eating is it's by far the most common time to actually have cravings and to feel a little hungrier. So there's actually some science to back this up for us. So I'm going to share that with you today, so that can maybe help you understand your cravings a little bit better and what's going on. Because when we have an understanding, or when we have some knowledge behind it, then that makes us more aware. And when we're more aware, then we're more likely to do something about it. Hi, Christy. How are you? Thanks for coming on. So I want you to go ahead and just blame your hunger on your natural biology, because some recent research from the Oregon Health and Science University says that our circadian rhythms are actually hardwired so that we crave sugary, starchy, and those salty foods at night. And it's okay to eat a little later, but you don't want to overeat on those types of foods. So what's really, usually what happens when our hunger controls our crazy ravenous mind at times, then we tend to want to overeat. So to help you actually stop your food cravings from taking over at night, I have a few suggestions. I got a handful here for you to help you get through your nighttime cravings. So often there's, a craving actually means that your body is missing some sort of vitamin or minerals or nutrients. So your cravings may not be for what your body is lacking. Like, for instance, you may want carbs when you're really low on a nutrient like vitamin C, okay? Which has actually been shown to control appetite when you have it in the right amounts. So that's why it's so important to kind of take a look at your day and look at what are you eating throughout the day and how much are you eating, because that's where you could be lacking. And then come nighttime, your body's still feeling like, oh, I still needed something. I missed something throughout the day here. So that's why you should try to fill up on like a variety of fruits and vegetables throughout your day. And by doing that, you'll be just flooding your body with this wide range of healthy nutrients to help prevent those cravings from coming up later. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions as I go along, please feel free to put it in the comments for me. I'm happy to answer your questions. And another thing, let's try to do something else, and think of something specific that you really enjoy, that you like to do, or do anything else. If you're craving something like salt, or like vinegar chips, or maybe some nice chocolate ice cream, that's always going to be a psychological response from your body. It's not a physical need. Hi, Renee, how are you? So you probably don't need to eat at that point when it's a psychological need, okay? So, but that doesn't mean that just completely ignore it either, because research shows that willpower, it's like a muscle, okay? And that muscle will kind of deplete during the day, and then you hardly have anything left for at night. Hi, Tara, how are you? So you need to create like this diversion to get your mind off of food. And you can try something like, I don't know, like something that makes you not want to even think about food. Like if you go clean the bathroom or something like that, or chew some peppermint gum, okay? Or even just smelling something minty too will help curb your cravings, because research actually shows like something mentholy, like Vicks Vapor Rub, will actually decrease your appetite. So open up that jar and take a nice deep breath in, and that can help kill that craving a little bit for you. And of course, you want to eat more protein. You've probably heard this before, but if you fill up on protein, especially earlier on in the day, then you start your day with what's best is to start your day with a protein-packed breakfast. Let's see, Tara, brush teeth helps. Yes, that's something I do for sure. Brushing your teeth. Not only is it minty, usually the flavor, but once my mouth is really clean, it really deters me from wanting to have anything at all at that point. So that's a trick that I know it works for many. So that's something you could try. If you've never tried it before, try it tonight. See what happens. And reading a book, gosh, there's nothing better I'd love than to just have some quiet time and sit down with a good book. That sounds awesome. And yeah, if you know what works for you, or you know things that you enjoy, try it instead, and it gives your body and your brain a minute to say, okay, I'm doing this instead. I'm not automatically going to food, which I'm going to talk about coming up here too. So, but protein, you want to try to fill up on a protein-packed breakfast, because there was actually a study that having a high protein breakfast with like some eggs and some lean meat, actually reduced your snacking later on in the day, and it regulated activity in that reward-driven brain region. More so than eating, say, like if you had like a cereal, which cereals are usually high in sugar. Even if you're trying to get like a better, like healthier cereal, they're really high in carbs, and that carb turns to sugar. So you really want to make sure that you're getting some protein in, especially first thing in the day. And another thing that we can do is there was actually a study that was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine back in 2012, where performing a short amount of moderately intense exercise, like 10 minutes to 40 minutes, somewhere in between there, it actually improved areas of the brain that help with our overall self-control. Pretty cool, huh? So get up and get moving, right? It releases those feel-good chemicals, and that's likely because, getting your heart rate up, it boosts your blood flow and your oxygen, and it boosts it right to the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is involved in like all of your decision making and that impulse control. Okay, so that can really help you in your decision making there. Hi Jackie, hi Emily, how are you? So you want to also flex that mental muscle. So what I mean by that is you want to put some like mental distance between yourself and what you're actually craving. So say if it's like a bag of chips or maybe some ice cream, you want to be able to tell yourself that, hi Chloe, how are you today? So tell yourself that, okay, like this is just a thought. It's just a thought in my head. And imagine like stepping away from it for a moment, like actually picture yourself. Okay, this is a thought I'm having. Picture yourself actually stepping away for a moment. This is just like a little mental rehearsal, or a little visual exercise, okay? And that like 2-second exercise gives your cravings less power at that very moment, since you have like you've stopped yourself in that moment, and you're stopping from like seeing the urge as something that you must have right now. Okay, so that's like another quick little trick that you could try today too. And let me tell you, this isn't going to happen overnight. You may try it today and say, okay, that didn't do anything for me. Well, you have to practice it, just like anything. Practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So these are things that you want to try to practice on a regular basis, but you can start today, okay? So another thing, when it comes to dinner, you want to maybe try to, hi Father, how are you today? Thanks for coming on. So you want to try to maybe swap out, like a low GI type food, so or go for a low GI type food, which means like swap out your pasta dinner for maybe some chicken with veggies and a side of quinoa or something like that. Quinoa is an awesome grain. It's actually a seed. A lot of people think that it's more of a whole grain, like it's a seed. And you could swap, instead of pasta, you could have like a veggie pasta. You could have some zucchini and do like a spiral zucchini and make it feel like pasta. And when it's covered in sauce and whatever you enjoy it with, you really get that feel like it's pasta. Or they have some great veggie pastas out there, like some green bean pasta, some black bean pasta, which is one of my favorites. So those are all other options that you can opt out for, okay? So you're not having just straight, white flour pasta. And I'm not saying that you can't have that or shouldn't have that, but just once in a while, but try to make those swaps in there in between, which will help you out in the long run and help keep you fuller. And another thing, when I mentioned protein, these veggie pastas are super, super high in protein, like 20 some grams per serving. That's an awesome serving right there of protein. So that's going to help keep you fuller longer as well, and feel less likely that you want to go grab something to eat after you've already eaten dinner. Okay, so and also the thing with like with the low GI is, you know, like the processed carbs and sugar, they're both high GI foods. So for example, your brain, the brain activity in the reward and craving region, it's going to increase when you're giving your body foods like that. And especially compared to if you're having more like if you're having a regular pasta, or like a veggie pasta, or quinoa, which is a great another carb alternative. So basically what's going to happen is they're going to make you crave more, because these white flour pastas, they are made of they're made of like white flour, which just turns to sugar. Okay, and that sugar is going to spike your sugar. Okay, you're gonna get those that blood sugar spike, your sugar's gonna go up, and then you're gonna get that crash. And when you get that crash, that's when you want to crave. And what do we crave? More sugar. Okay, so that's why you want to make those swaps. Okay, so that you're not getting those cravings coming to you so readily. So another thing is, I know a lot of us will sit down in front of the TV after we've eaten dinner, and that's okay. You know, maybe you've had a long day, or you're ready to relax. But when you're staying up late to finish something you're binge watching on Netflix, maybe you're decreasing your sleep right there, right? If you're staying up a little bit later, and that's throwing off your circadian rhythm. Okay. And when that happens, when you're tired and you've had like this crazy busy work week schedule, your cravings and hunger are going to increase. So what you want to do is, try to aim for at least 7 hours of sleep or so every night. And I know for some of us, it's not easy to do, or maybe we're just not sleeping well. But if you try to get into a routine where you're going to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to shut all my technology down by a certain time to make sure I get those hours in. And then when you start getting more sleep, you're going to notice your cravings are going to start to disappear as well. Because when you're not sleeping enough or adequately, it's going to increase your cravings, especially the next day. A lot of times this happens to myself. If I feel a little hungrier throughout the day and I think, oh, how did I sleep last night? And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't sleep that well. Or I went to bed a little bit later, because your cortisol levels, it causes your cortisol hormone to rise. Okay, that's your stress hormone. It's putting stress on your body. And then here come those cravings. Okay, so that's what's happening to your body if you're not getting enough or adequate sleep. Okay, so that's not something else to think about and to watch out for, and something else that you could try today as well. Shut it down. Shut down that technology, even an hour earlier, half an hour earlier. See what happens. Okay, so I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you do try any, please let me know. Put it in the comments for me, PM me, however you'd like to reach out to me. And if you have any questions about your own health and weight goals that you'd like to dive a little further into, hi Kelly, how are you? And you'd like to just dive a little further into and you'd like to talk about it, let me know. I'm here to chat. But I hope you all have a very beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.